Okay, not much to be done about my hair, it's hopeless. Dan back again, and what we're seeing on the screen right now is some of the work that's been done in the last little while relating to starting to get the Novillo project tracking the user's swipes and picking up or figuring out what settings are supposed to apply at that particular moment. It's been a frustration with this project that I can't easily explain to other people what it's going to do in terms of something they already know about. One of the things I can say is, oh, it's kind of a bit like Keynote or PowerPoint, but then the question is, well, so why wouldn't you use Keynote or PowerPoint? And the answer to that is that it goes back to something I said in my last video. The whole relationship that an artist, someone who draws, has to the lines that they create and compose a drawing of is what Novillo is all about. So whether those lines define a line in itself or the outside of a shape, they're the things that will give Novillo its life. What you're seeing on the screen here is me sort of building some extra code in here that will, you can see a lot of errors popping up, but you basically see the programming process. We're tracking the swiping of the user as they swipe up the side of the active area of the iPad. And as that happens, you'll see in some of there's numbers down at the very bottom of the screen, very top of the screen. It tracks where they are on an index through what is basically a timeline for a given composition. Composition is a thing you see on the screen right now. It's a bunch of components of images or images mashed together. And the goal is to be able to turn them on, turn them off, but mostly to get the lines to draw on in concert with the swiping mechanism. So the first thing I have to do is, as the user is swiping, figure out exactly where they are on the timeline, figure out all of the events that happened before that, and then go searching in those events for anything that would apply to the current moment in time. It has to have happened before where we are or right where we are. And part of the concern here is that we don't want to allow the user to swipe so fast that they can get far ahead of where the machine won't be able to keep up. So this is part of what's going on right now as well. And this, what you're seeing on screen, is sort of a preliminary stage to getting that working. Already though, there's a huge amount of data being amassed in a thing called a manifest. And the manifest is something that basically takes all the settings that have been set by the user, saved in the database, and creates one great big file related to each composition, which will then be eventually saved on a server and downloaded when the user wants to see this component, this composition, this part of the Novillo play through in response to the swiping. So it's a big challenge, but it's the part where we put aside all of the previous data-related organizational stuff and focus on the main functionality that the user will be most interested in, whether that user is the creator who will be interested in seeing that the adjustments they're making satisfy what they want to present to the reader, or the reader who wants to just give it a try and see what the story looks like in Novillo form. And that's what we're aiming at now. So the work is progressing. This is not very conclusive, but I hope in a few more of these videos we'll be able to show you some of the changes actually happening on screen, but you'll know that this process was happening to begin with. Okay, Dan Donaldson. I'm the creator of Novillo, a graphic novel dude and programmer, and we'll see you on the next video. Have any comments? Be very interested to hear from you. Okay, cheers.